Hello, MotoGP fans. There's something new. Come on, let's read the full story. Don't go anywhere, okay?
Is MotoGP pushing its riders beyond the breaking point while technology races to save them? And are old rivalries silently rewriting the championship story? What if the real danger in MotoGP today is not the speed, not the crashes, not even the championship pressure, but the calendar itself? What if behind the roaring engines and glowing floodlights, the riders are quietly reaching a limit nobody wants to admit? And what if the sport's newest generation is being protected by technology, while its legends are being dismissed, misunderstood, and underestimated at the very moment when history is preparing its next great twist? Before you read any further, pause for just 1 second. If you love MotoGP, if your heart beats faster every Sunday when the lights go out, then like this story, subscribe to the channel, and leave your thoughts in the comments, because what you are about to read will challenge how you see the paddock, the riders, and the championship itself. The paddock was buzzing long before the engines fired up that weekend. Journalists whispered, mechanics exchanged uneasy glances, and in one quiet corner of the garage, Fabio di Giannantonio finally said out loud what many riders had been thinking for months but were too careful to admit. 22 races are simply too many. It was not a complaint thrown in anger. It was not a moment of weakness. It was something more dangerous, a calm, rational statement from a rider who understands exactly what the human body, the human mind, and a racing machine can endure over a full season. In a sport where milliseconds decide glory and disaster, Di Giannantonio's words landed like a thunderclap. MotoGP is stretching itself to the edge. Behind the microphones, some smiled politely. Others nodded without comment. But in the eyes of the riders standing nearby, the truth was already written. 22 races is not just 22 Sundays of racing. It is 22 weeks of constant pressure, travel across continents, jet lag, physical punishment, mental exhaustion, and the silent fear that every lap could be the one where everything changes. And yet the show must go on. What most fans do not realize is that the modern MotoGP calendar has quietly become one of the most demanding schedules in global sport. Formula One drivers complain about jet lag and mental load, but MotoGP riders do all of that while balancing a 300-horsepower missile on 2 wheels, where a mistake does not mean losing time, it means losing skin, bone, and sometimes careers. Cock damage are shielded by this invisible wall of science and engineering. Riders know this. They trust it. But that trust also creates a dangerous illusion that because technology protects them, they can keep pushing without consequence. The body, however, does not reset between rounds. The nervous system does not forget fear. The mind does not ignore pain. That riders must be careful whose voices they follow. He believed that blindly listening to dominant figures could distort judgment, inflate ego, and create rivalries that harm more than they help. In private conversations that later echoed through the paddock, he allegedly cautioned younger riders not to be consumed by the narratives of powerful camps, and especially those orbiting around Valentino Rossi's sphere of influence. Fast forward to today, and that warning feels hauntingly relevant. Because inside the modern paddock, another storm is brewing. Francesco Bagnaia, reigning champion, factory Ducati leader, and the man carrying Italy's hopes, has been quietly accused by insiders of underestimating Marc Márquez. Yes, that Marc Márquez, the 8-time world champion. The man many believed was finished after years of injury, surgeries, and setbacks. The rider who now finds himself in new colors, new surroundings, and new motivation. Bagnaia's confidence is understandable. He has the bike. He has the results. He has the momentum. But confidence becomes dangerous when it turns into complacency. And this is where whispers from the paddock become impossible to ignore. Some say Bagnaia, influenced by voices from Rossi's legendary group, has begun to view Márquez as a fading shadow of his former self, a threat of the past, a name that no longer commands the same fear. They believe the new championship battle will belong to younger blood, cleaner rivalries, and fresher narratives. And yet, Márquez's presence alone is enough to disrupt that story. Every time he steps into the garage, mechanics look twice. Every time he rolls onto the track, cameras follow. Every time he smiles behind the visor, something inside his rivals tightens. Champions sense danger not with data but with instinct. And Márquez's instinct for winning has never disappeared. This is where Giannantonio's complaint, safety technology, Simoncelli's ghost, and the politics of rivalry merge into one explosive question. Is MotoGP pushing too hard while ignoring the emotional and psychological consequences of everything it has become? The calendar grows longer, the bikes grow faster, the safety systems grow smarter, the egos grow heavier, and the pressure grows relentless. Inside the paddock, riders no longer speak of a season as a single story. They speak of survival blocks. They measure their strength in clusters of races. They ration energy like soldiers on campaign. The glamour the fans see on Sunday masks the exhaustion that defines the rest of the week. Giannantonio's words were not a protest. They were a warning. Young rider looking at a system that celebrates expansion without counting the cost. And when you place that warning beside the tension between Bagnaia and Márquez, the silence around Simoncelli's old wisdom, and the faith in technology that cannot heal a tired soul, the picture becomes uncomfortably clear. MotoGP is standing at a crossroads. One road leads to bigger calendars, bigger audiences, and greater commercial success. The other demands restraint, reflection, and a deeper respect for the limits of those who risk everything to entertain us. The next championship will not only be decided by lap times and tire choices. It will be decided by how riders manage fatigue, fear, expectation, and pride. It will be decided by whether Bagnaia truly understands the threat that Márquez represents. It will be shaped by whether the sport listens to voices like Giannantonio's or silences them beneath the roar of progress. So here is the real question, the one nobody in the paddock wants to answer out loud. Is MotoGP evolving into the most spectacular form of racing ever created, or into the most dangerous illusion of control the sport has ever known? The answer may already be unfolding. One race at a time beneath the floodlights, inside the air fences, behind the smiles, and within the hearts of the riders who carry the weight of this extraordinary, unforgiving championship. Now it's your turn. What do you think is really happening inside MotoGP? Is the calendar too much? Is Márquez still the storm everyone fears? Is Bagnaia underestimating the past that refuses to die? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Like this story if it made you think, and subscribe for more deep, emotional, and untold MotoGP narratives.